Advances in technology have transformed daily tasks from being dull and time-consuming to quick, easy, and effortless. These developments have emerged to bring ease into one's everyday life, especially with the aid of apps. Apps give one the ability to communicate, connect, and work with others at a fast pace with little to no troubles. One particular app that has been beneficial to the working class is Just in Time, or JIT for short. Eradicates the confusion and frustration that accompanies the chore of creating a schedule for employees, and rather just creates a work schedule that strives to better how a company functions. JIT is most commonly used in the food and retail industry or other lower income jobs. This app is most attractive to employers who tend to struggle to generate a work schedule that does not lead to distress or conflict within the work environment. However, the use of this app may have a negative effect on employees due to JIT's ability to accommodate the physical and mental health of the employees, as well as the employee's lifestyle outside of the workplace. The debate at hand is whether the just-in-time scheduling app is solely focused on the needs of the companies rather than the circumstances and well-being of the employees. This presentation will go into further detail about what just-in-time scheduling is, the pros and cons of the app, potential implications that may arise, the HRM that best defines this app, and the algorithm used to create job schedules.
Now to a Labor Day story about the changing nature of the job market in this country. As workers seek more flexibility in their hours and employers seek more control over labor costs, the number of part-time jobs is soaring. NewsHour economics correspondent Paul Salmon looks at some of the consequences. It's all part of his ongoing reporting, Making Sense of Financial News.
Nearly 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and 24-year-old Onika O'Keefe is leaving the Brooklyn apartment she shares with her mother, sister, and one-year-old niece for Manhattan. It's an hour-long trip between the walk to the subway station and then 3 train rides to Midtown. But O'Keefe isn't going to a party or pub. She's heading to work to get her part-time schedule for the coming week. And she might be on the Sunday midnight shift, which begins in an hour.
I'm not sure if I'm working, so I'm gonna go there and see my schedule, and if I have to work, at least I'm ready.
O'Keefe works the graveyard shift in the stockroom at American Eagle in Times Square, earning $8 an hour. Her choice, she says, so that this job won't interfere with her other part-time gig, a day shift in the stockroom at Crocs Shoes in Herald Square. Between the 2 part-time jobs, O'Keefe worked 60 hours the prior week. On August 6th, she'd gone to the ER with a 104-degree fever.
With the lack of sleep and, not enough time to take care of myself, my immune system was compromised and I got, sick. Everyone tells me that it's not good for you to overexert yourself to that degree, but the money's necessary for rent, utilities, and things like that.
While more Americans are now employed than before the downturn began, O'Keefe represents one of the most startling statistics of the post-Great Recession period. 3 million more part-time workers who report that they want full-time jobs but can't find them. The total is up by more than 50% since 2007. Why the part-time explosion? Because so many would-be full-timers are competing for the same jobs and have to take what businesses offer.
Just-in-time scheduling, also known as JIT scheduling, uses an algorithm to set employee schedules. This allows employers to match consumer demand with on-hand employees. The algorithm uses information on external workforce factors to determine how many employees are needed for certain shifts, then assigns them to said shifts so that the need of consumers and employers matches the number of scheduled employees. This method is used so that companies are not overstaffed, thus saving on unwanted labor costs. Just-in-time scheduling is more common for people working in their early careers, people working low-income jobs, and those working part-time instead of full-time. Because of these factors and the nature of job scheduling, JIT scheduling tends to lead to accelerated employee turnover and economic consequences.
Non-exempt employees on call or on standby, do you need to pay them, and how much?
Now my boss wants me to try again in an hour.
It's really going to get hot along the ridge.
So much for starting early.
Why is it taking so long?
I don't know. Security settings, remote access is tricky.
I still don't get why they're launching on a weekend.
It's either that or shut down operations. Maybe we should take a shorter hike?
With companies choosing to adopt scheduling algorithms based on projected demand, they fail to take into consideration employees' desired work hours. This leads to employees feeling displeased about their jobs, lack of stability, and lack of autonomy. This lack of attention and employee dissatisfaction only leads to the employee to feel unidentified with the company. In addition, just-in-time scheduling is mostly implemented for jobs within the service and entertainment sectors, which already have issues pertaining to the lack of benefits and insufficient pay, thus perpetuating employee dissatisfaction. Employee satisfaction can affect employees' overall performance since satisfied employees are motivated and often excited to work. However, in the case of just-in-time scheduling, most employees are dissatisfied and unmotivated, leading to low profits and performance.
Of the 4 human resource management strategies, JIT scheduling is most concerned with bargain laborer because of its external labor orientation and cost leadership strategic direction. The purpose of JIT scheduling is to reduce labor costs by eliminating overstaffing and only scheduling an optimum number of workers per shift. The emphasis on saving money by cutting labor costs demonstrates cost leadership, while the pattern of hiring employees who possess the necessary skills to complete the job demonstrates an external labor orientation. Through the use of this business strategy and JIT scheduling, people are hired based on their ability to complete the tasks assigned, their ability to respond to employers' demands, and their acceptance of the fact that they will not experience career growth.
Just-in-time technology is important to think about due to the economic and societal implications. Laboring an employee with unpredictable hours often comes with apparent as well as unseen consequences. Since most employees rely on a stable source of income from a regular schedule, the unpredictability causes employees to seek other opportunities where they have more control over their work schedules. These turnovers cause corporations unnecessary time and resources in the hunt for new talent. In addition, just-in-time scheduling perpetuates racism and systematic oppression in the workplace, as the majority of workers who are subject to just-in-time scheduling are Black and Latina, and often are the single parent and breadwinner of their household. This way of scheduling is an example of adverse impact, since those minority employees are often caught up in employment systems where they are forced to choose between their personal responsibilities and their work. Over time, due to an inability to maintain a healthy work-life balance, employees are forced to choose their families and personal matters over their job. This common decision only fuels charges of irresponsibility and laziness on the employee, furthering damaging stereotypes. By overlooking this issue, companies face economic hardships and, by default of the job design, face challenges in diversity and cultural understanding.
Now, I had my first child as a 20-year-old college sophomore. And I remember always feeling guilty because I was unable to raise him the same way that I was raised. When I had him, I walked out of the hospital with a baby in one hand and less than $1 in the other. I remember feeling guilty because there were many mornings that I had to wake up a sleeping infant so that I could get to school and work on time. And I would cry myself to sleep because I would only see him for a few moments at night before it was time to go back to bed. I felt guilty.
Just-in-time is a work scheduling application that uses a specific algorithm or calculation to generate a work schedule that takes into account the economical needs of the company, rather than those of the employees. JIT is most sought out by employers of lower wage companies due to its lack of stable 9 to 5 o'clock schedule. This app obtains the ability to create a work schedule without the fuss and confusion that usually comes with the burden of scheduling. On the other hand, Just-in-time scheduling has a more unfavorable connotation for employees whose needs and ways of life are not included in the algorithm used by the app, such as other places of work, financial situation, family, and overall well-being of them. This seemingly straightforward and trouble-free app may be the culprit of further complications and unease within the workplace, and all potential conflicts should be taken into consideration prior to usage of the just-in-time scheduling app.